we're getting spooky up in the kitchen today, and I'm gonna show you how to make Bloody Bone Breadsticks, which is a perfect side dish for anything you serve right around the Halloween season. It only takes 3 ingredients, super simple to make, and I'm gonna show you how. Hi everybody, my name is Susie Weinrich and welcome to Mom's Dinner. Here, we help adults feel successful at dinner time. So if that sounds good to you, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right, we are making spooky Bloody Bone Breadsticks for our side dish tonight. And it only takes 3 ingredients. You're gonna start with a tube of just classic pizza crust. I happen to usually find the Pillsbury one, and it's a 13.8 ounce tube of pizza crust. Then you're gonna need a little bit of olive oil to brush onto the breadsticks before you put on a little bit of everything bagel seasoning. Now to get the bloody part, you're gonna dip it in a little bit of marinara. If you're having tomato soup or chili, that could also be the bloody part. All right, this recipe is gonna go pretty quick. We're gonna start by putting a little bit of parchment paper onto a rimmed baking sheet. Now for the scary part, we're gonna open up this pizza crust little tube. These things always explode and scare the daylights out of me. So let's just peel this open. Oh! It popped before I was ready. Okay, all right, so here we go. You're gonna take this out of the tube. You're gonna find the end of it, and then we're gonna roll it out onto our parchment paper. And that is looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and spread this just a little bit because it was kind of lumped up in there. All right, that looks perfect. Now what we wanna do is cut it into 8 strips. So how I like to do that is cut the pizza dough right in half and then cut each half in half and then also cut each quarter in half. And that way you get a little bit more even pieces and you won't have oddly cooking bones. So it doesn't matter for the way it looks. I mean, we want it to look spooky and uneven and all the things. But for baking time, you want these bones to be somewhat even. Now that we've got all of these cut into strips, now we're gonna make the bones. So what you wanna do is take one of the strips and you're just going to carefully tie the first end, just like that. Then flip it over. You can kind of pull it if you need to have a little bit more space there. And there is your bone. Pretty easy. Now just go ahead and repeat that process with all of the rest. I'll show you one more time. You want to pull just a little bit to give yourself some length. Tie off that end into just a little knot there. Pull the other side. Repeat. And there's your bone breadstick. All right, so I'm going to get all of these kind of placed evenly on this baking sheet so that they're not baking together. We want to give them plenty of room to bake. And I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees so that we can get these directly in the oven and baking. What we want to do now though is take a little bit of olive oil or extra virgin olive oil and just give them a little brush. This is going to help them crisp up and get nice and golden in the oven. This is also going to help our everything bagel seasoning stick to the breadsticks. Now you don't have to use the everything bagel seasoning We just like the flavor of it. You could also sprinkle these with a little coarse kosher salt, or you could even use a little bit of Parmesan cheese, would be delicious. We use the Trader Joe's Everything Bagel Seasoning. It's our favorite one. It definitely is not quite as salty as some of the other ones. So we're just gonna sprinkle that on to our bone breadsticks. Super simple. That's it. I'm gonna get these in the oven for about 16 to 18 minutes until they're nice and golden and cooked through, and then I'm gonna show you what they look like. These cooked up perfectly. They are golden brown. I ended up cooking them for about 17 minutes at 400 degrees, and they are beautifully golden brown. They're golden, dark brown on the bottom. They're cooked through perfectly, and they have that everything bagel seasoning that smells so good when it bakes in the oven. So what we want to do now is just set these to the side, and we're going to get them plated up with a little bloody marinara sauce. All right, we've got kind of like a little spooky black tray with a little black bowl for our marinara sauce. I've got our favorite marinara sauce, which is Rayo's. It is a little bit more expensive, but it is so delicious. It does make a huge difference, honestly. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit of that marinara sauce right in there, and then we're gonna plate up some of these cute little bone breadsticks. Just pile them up on the plate there. And then I am going to eat one. Let's give this little baby a try. Really, really good. They're cooked perfectly. They're still a little bit soft with that little bit of crisp bottom. And the marinara sauce is great. Tastes like a really delicious breadstick that's perfect for Halloween. So if you give these a try this Halloween season, I would love to have you comment below and let me know if your kids or the adults absolutely loved them. So until next time, I hope that this recipe helps you feel like a success at dinner time. We'll see you next week.